So when I was growing up, one of my least favorite things to do with my weekend was go to the dentist. I went back after an embarrassing long dentist hiatus recently, and the smell walking in literally made me nauseous. All these memories came flooding back of cavities and drills on my teeth from the past, and I just was cringed out. And see, when I was a kid, all you got for going to the dentist was a new toothbrush and a pack of floss. Both the dentist and I knew I would never use that floss, even though I promised every time that I would. But nowadays you go to the dentist office and there's slides built into the walls, there's display cases of prizes that you can pick and take home for doing a good job at the dentist. And when you're sitting in the chair, they have TVs on the ceiling and movies that you can pick. It's crazy. When I was a kid, there was soft jazz music playing on the intercom and a few posters on this tacky colored wall, which I always thought was kind of strange. Like, how is this picture of a semi-rabid squirrel in the wild helpful for me while this dentist is literally drilling holes in my teeth? What am I supposed to do? What is a waterfall gonna do in this traumatic situation? I mean, sure, nature is nice to look at, but beyond that, what are we supposed to be doing or not doing about it? That's what we're gonna talk about today. There are all kinds of reasons for this and why people like you may care about what we're gonna talk about today. We're gonna talk about creation. Maybe you're somebody who really enjoys the outdoors and nature. Maybe you're more of an indoorsy person than an outdoorsy person, and you couldn't read a compass to save your life. But maybe for you, there's something about flowers and sunsets from the rooftop of your building that inspires you and catches your attention. No matter what you feel about the outside world, one thing is true: we all feel something about creation. Whether we realize it or not, there's just something about the mountains and volcanoes, the beaches, the city sunsets, dandelions, blue skies, palm trees, pine trees, the first snow of the year, fresh cut grass. There's something about all that stuff that just makes us feel something. The real question is, why? Why do I feel that? Why do I care? Why do humans of different ages, different beliefs, different families, and different experiences all seem to have this in common with an emotional response to creation? I know. It's a really deep question and it's a lot to think through, right? But maybe this question that you need to be asking right now is, why are we talking about this stuff at church at all? What do volcanoes and waterfalls and dandelions and the dentist have to do with creation and church? And that's a great question. Well, let me show you, because I think that what we're about to discover can change the way that you see the world around you and may even give us all a clue into why people care about creation and why God cares too. We're gonna look at a psalm today, which is just an old word that basically means poem. There's an entire book of psalms or poems in the Bible, and they talk about everything. Psalms express frustration with God at the same time they express worship to Him. They mention people's hurt and anger towards enemies while also addressing promises of God's faithfulness. They cover all emotions. Today's is from chapter 19, and it basically explains looking at creation can make us feel and what it can make us feel. Check it out. The heavens declare the glory of God. The skies proclaim the work of His hands. Day after day, they pour forth speech. Night after night, they reveal knowledge. They have no speech. They have no words. No sound is heard from them. Yet their voice goes out into all the earth, their words to the end of the world. David is the author of this psalm, and basically, he's saying that creation is somewhat like reading the Bible. It's like going to church. It's a spiritual experience. It's like hearing God's voice when you're surrounded by this amazing world that He created. That's what all those kinds of strange words that he used, like pours forth speech, proclaim, or their voice goes out. David is saying that nature is talking to us about God. Creation points us to the Creator. After God has made everything that makes up the world we live in, including human beings, the writer of Genesis goes on to say that God did this. The Lord God took the man and put him in the Garden of Eden to work it and to take care of it. So when we talk about the planet and we talk about creation, we aren't just talking about something your earth science teacher talks about. We're talking about something bigger. We're talking about something that God cares about and made us to care about as well. In other words, caring for creation isn't some trendy idea. It's a spiritual idea. It's an ancient idea. It is God's idea. So what does that mean for us? What exactly does this look like? Well, there are a lot of different ways that people can think about caring for the world. So what's the best one? Where do we start? What does God want us to do? Well, the truth is when it comes to the role that we can play, it honestly can look different for everyone. And a lot of it will depend on how exactly you see nature and the outside world now. It can be something as simple as getting outside more, paying attention more to the creation around you. Whether you live in a city, the suburbs, or a rural community, there's most likely a part of nature that you haven't noticed in a while, maybe even sunsets. Stop and notice ways creation points to the Creator. What about God? Do you notice Him around you in the world? Or maybe another way to say it is, how does the creation around you show how amazing God is in your world? Take a step towards being more responsible with what has been entrusted to you. Maybe that means that you volunteer to pick up trash around your school or choosing to recycle your daily bottle from the vending machine. Maybe this week it means helping clean up the land around your church. In other words, maybe your first step is treating the planet like God made it and you genuinely care about it. For some of you, you've cared so much for the planet for so long that you've been losing sleep because your anxiety gets to you. For you, maybe you got the protect and persevere part down, but you need to spend more time enjoying creation, going outside and experiencing what God made, appreciating what is good and still being passionate for that cause. Just like we need to treat the planet like God created it, you need to treat yourself like God created you. You need rest. You need to breathe. Do your part, but don't feel pressured into thinking that taking care of the planet is all on you. When it comes to caring for the place that we live, the place that God made everyone, we should all do our part. In fact, it should look different for each person because God made us all uniquely. We're all different, and we can all do a part in taking care of His beautiful creation.